Clemens Homebrew, coming at you with a beer review. I've got an interesting one for you today. Oh yes, I do. I had to move my, what I call my cellar. It's my fermentation chamber and beer storage area in order to replace a panel on the garage door. That was a chore, and because it's a beast. But it gave me a chance to look through and find things that probably should have been consumed a long time ago, and here's one of them. This is from Stone Brewing out of Escondido. It's the Master of Disguise. That's right, part of the Stone's Stochasticity project. It is an Imperial Golden Stout, and this was released November 17th of 2014. Right now, we are in the middle of June of 2016. So not horribly old, but it's over a year and a half old for a unique beer. This is a golden stout, as I said. So what they did was they used cocoa beans and coffee beans to impart the flavors, and then they used flaked oats. Flaked oats would give you a thicker mouthfeel. So let's see what a little over a year and a half does with this one. You never know. It could be great. It could be terrible. We'll see. I'm getting wafts of it from here. Got a little bit of breeze picking up. So we got some bubbles rising up. We got a full finger head on there. It's kind of a yellow to off-white head. And it's a golden orange. Boy, there's a lot of floaties in this. Let me tell you, that's not usually unnerving, but for some reason coming from Stone it is. Let's get a nose. Wow, I get a lot of coffee and I get a lot of vanilla aromas right off the top. I get a light bit of the cocoa bean. This is like cocoa nibs, I can tell, and I get a light bit of that. And they were probably raw cocoa nibs. I don't think that they were roasted. They'd have a more dark chocolate aroma. And it does smell creamy, so it does smell like, you know, like someone had put oats, because it has like kind of a creamy kind of aroma. It's interesting, the coffee and the cocoa on there almost gives the impression as if there's like this earthiness. So it almost gives the impression as if it came off of a bourbon barrel. That's interesting. Well, we're going to dive in, so cheers. It's not great, but it's not bad. It has a light sweetness to it. Oh, something's interesting hitting me on the backside. But I am getting, they must have used a lot of flaked oats, because there is a good mouthfeel to it, and there's a nice creaminess to it. But you can really tell that, you know, these were lighter grains that were used. You're not going to fool my taste buds on that part, but you are getting some of that coffee that's imparted. The cocoa in it has gone more to a very earthy dirt kind of side, almost a musty kind of edge to it. There's a light sharpness on it at points. It's really funny because it almost comes across as being a fairly high bitterness. Now this is 9.7% ABV and 55 IBUs. And they used Liberty and Nugget hops in it. I think you're getting some of the bitterness off those hops still, and maybe a little bit of it that's turned so where they become kind of a herbal and like leaves, but more herbal, like a tea. So I think you're getting kind of that tea quality that's creating a bitterness, like a black tea. Well, this is interesting for sure. I'm sure this is not going to really depict what this was like fresh at all. I have no idea, actually. But I'm going to take a little time with this, and I'll be back with some numbers on a year and a half plus old Master of Disguise from the Stone Stochasticity project. Well, the good news is I just poured the rest of the bottle. The bad news is I could be sick later. Who knows? this is an interesting beer aged. I mean, that's not a lot, you know, that's not a lot of age, truly. You know, we're really only talking about, you know, a year and 7 months. It pretty much delivers what you would expect from the description. I mean, it's a golden ale. I don't get a lot of cocoa. I bet there was a lot more chocolate on this originally. But you still get a lot of coffee, which is amazing. So I bet there was a lot of chocolate and a lot of coffee when this first came out. Too bad I didn't actually try it back then. I think they did a fabulous job, though, with the flaked oats, because the mouthfeel on this is still very good. I would say this is on the high end of a medium to low end of full. It's got a nice creamy texture. The downfall on this with some age is that the cocoa nibs, which they would have used, have gone to the down to the earth, the ground, the dirt, the mud. That's right. And they've got this just extreme earthiness. And of course, the hops on it have gone to the tea side a bit, the earthy herbal side. For the 1.5-year-old aged Master of Disguise Stochasticity project. I love saying that. Stochasticity. In terms of Imperial Stout, well, it's a dismal failure. I mean, it's interesting. It's intriguing. I think I've had another example I thought was better. I think in terms of style, I'm going to go down. I'm going to give this an 82. It's kind of a B-. Overall, I mean, there are qualities here that make me think more of an old ale, you know, or a golden ale, which is kind of that base. A nice sweet, and then with all the oats, the mouthfeel on this, the creaminess is rather nice, actually. So I'm going to go up a little bit on my over. I'm going to go to 86 overall. It's still hanging in there okay. Here it is again. It's the Master of Disguise Stochasticity project. It's an Imperial Golden Ale brewed in November of 2014. I don't think you're going to find this one, but who knows? One of your buddies might have one stuck away. This is Kevin at Clements Homebrew saying life is too short to drink cheap beer, and I'll see you in the next beer review.